Let me tell you why it's important for you to have faith in your ability to do things that even you didn't realize you were capable of doing. It was funny when I was in college. Part of my experiences, I was in ROTC, and in an effort to be able to become an officer in the military, I wanted to do something to increase my chances. So my mentor indicated that just during the summer between your junior and your senior year, in addition to going to your evaluation, or what we call your advanced camp, you should look to try to do something else. So there were 3 opportunities that you could do: cadet troop leadership training, air assault training, which is basically jumping out of a helicopter, or airborne training, and that means jumping out of a plane. So I decided to roll the dice and do airborne training. Now let's make a couple of points clear. I hate heights. I can't stand heights. Now I'm not petrified fear of them, but I don't like heights. I like the ground. Also, most importantly, is that I don't know where in the hell I thought this was a great idea. But I listened to what they told me and I said, let me roll the dice and do it. So in the summer of 1990, I am, after completing my training course at Fort Riley, Kansas, my evaluation course, I then found myself on a plane heading to Columbus, Georgia, Fort Benning, for airborne training. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with how this works, airborne training is a 3-week training. The first week is what we call ground week, where they basically teach you how to land. I didn't even think that was humanly possible, because my first thought was, help me land? Isn't that parachute supposed to help me do that? But I digress. So the first week, they teach you how to land. The second week is what we call tower week. They teach you how to jump out of the plane. I'm like, what the hell? I just can't walk out that sucker and call it a day? No, they teach you there's a technique, because guess what happens when you jump out of a plane? Whoosh, your body is taken. And so you're taught how to, hold your body in a tight position, to keep control of yourself, to grab a hold of your emergency parachute in the event something happens, and you have to pull it because your regular chute doesn't deploy. And then the last week is jump week. The last week you have 5 jumps, called 5 successful jumps, that you have to do. You have to basically land every one of them. And let me tell you something. You're jumping out at 1,200 feet and so forth. And when I did it the very first time, and it was funny because when I did the first week, which was ground week, didn't stress me. Second week, tower week, didn't stress me. When we got out there and I realized I had to jump out of a plane that was going to be 1,200 feet in the air, yeah, life took on a whole new different vibe. So all of a sudden now, I'm sitting here, and everything they trained us on, I've done. I'm doing the pre-checks. Make sure my parachute's straight. I'm making sure there's nothing blocking me. And so all of a sudden, I'm in line behind people, and we're going out in rotations of like 10. So they rush us out. Woo, 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 woo. The reality is during that training, you can't just land. Everybody has to deploy before they land out. I'm like, holy crap, this is real. And so for the first time in my life, I'm freaking. I got my glass. I jump out with my glasses too, because my uncle did it years before me, and I heard the story about his glasses going one way and him going another. So I'm really freaking. So now I'm sitting here, standing by the door, realizing I am 1,200 feet in the air. I'm like, the hell did I get myself into? And all of a sudden they're like, go. And guess what happened? I didn't think. I didn't think about the fact that I was 1,200 feet in the air. I didn't think about the fact that I had my life tethered to my back. I just went. And I can tell you that once I got out and I realized the parachute had deployed, I started going ballistic. I was like, yeah, boy, bring it, yeah. And I realized parachute gets tangled up. I do my training, unravel it. The next thing I know, I'm ascending down. I'm like descending down. I'm like, yeah, this is wonderful. Then the ground came really fast. And the next thing I know, boom, hit the ground. And when I realized I hit the ground, of course, I'm still doing my whole routine. I landed a particular way, get up, and they tell you to police your parachute, which is a nice way of saying, come get your parachute. I turned around and looked up in the sky and realized I had just jumped 1,200 feet. Now, for those people who are professional parachutists, they know that's not a real high. And for those of you who are serving in the military and you've done a bunch of jumps, you're probably thinking that's no big deal because you jump lower than that. But in my mind, it was important, because it symbolized me doing something I had ever done before, never had any aspirations of doing before. To be very honest, I wasn't even sure I was going to make it doing that. And I did. And for whatever reason, the world looked a little differently that day. And for those of you who are wondering, well, did you graduate? Yep, I did 4 more jumps, no problems, no injuries. still all good in the neighborhood. Why do I share this story? Because you're going to find in the course of your life that you're going to doubt your ability to take leaps of faith to do things. And you ain't got to do the crazy thing I did and jump out of a plane, but you're going to find that you're going to have so many things that you're going to be faced with in the course of your life where you're going to be challenged to take that first big step. And let's be clear, I was petrified going onto the plane. I was petrified when I was on the plane. I was petrified watching the first crew jump off the plane. But once you jump out there, once you've decided I'm going to make this thing happen, something very powerful happens. You float. Whether you believe it or not, you just float. It's not because some angelic arm caught you. It's because you had the skills all the time and you just didn't trust your ability to use them. So I say all this to say this, that in my experience, what I have found is, and I'm still grappling with it, of all the risks that I've taken in my life, I still know that there are those times that I was faced with situations that I didn't know even I was capable of doing. And it wasn't until someone, whether they be telling me to do something outside of the norm or somebody not letting me get comfortable, it wasn't until I was faced with those situations that I realized that I could float myself.